What it is, what it ain't, what is stank, brothers and sisters. Yo, today we're going to be going over a fundamental back exercise. The key goal of this exercise is to condition the muscles to better support the spine and withstand stress. And I definitely needed to stretch myself because I think I slept wrong, but I woke up with a very tense feeling in my back. So you're going to start off by laying down on the ground with your knees up and your feet flat on the surface. Once you're finally in position, make sure that you squeeze the glutes and the core, almost as if somebody's gonna punch you in the stomach. Then you're gonna slowly raise the hips until your torso is aligned with your thighs, and then slowly come back down. I'm gonna go for at least 5 to 10 reps. Just like in the previous video, these exercises are about what you can do in your current progression moment. If you can't do 10 reps, aim for 5. If you can't do 5 reps, aim for 4. But you have to be able to challenge yourself each time you're doing these exercises. That's how you'll be able to get safe gains as well as see some great benefits. Once you finish your reps, you're going to bring your arms into a 90-degree angle and use your elbows as well as your lower back to do some hip bridges. Now you should feel a nice stretch in the upper back opposed to the lower back when you're doing this variation. But I would highly recommend to take this variation slow as well. Get a feel with your body first while you're progressing. And make sure that you guys are squeezing the glutes and the core. Don't lax up on that, okay? It's to ensure that you're doing it safely. Once you're finished with those, go ahead and fully lay out on the ground and try to extend those arms and those legs as far as you can. This stretch is almost like letting out a good yawn in the morning. Next, you're gonna slowly bring that right leg up, roll the neck and the head forward, and come back down slowly. We're gonna do this transition from right to left for at least 5 to 10 reps. Now you should feel a good stretch in the neck and in the back, but if you feel any pinching in the neck or any tension at all when rolling the neck up, then just do the leg stretches. Just bring the legs forward and you'll get a good stretch in the lower back. Any pinches or any tweaks that you feel when doing a stretch just means that you are going too far into that stretch and that you need to dial it down a little bit, okay? That's why it's always important to keep track of what your body can manage when doing certain routines. You don't want to rush into any routines that you're new with and end up hurting yourself. That's not what we want. So we want slow progressions through all of this. The next stretch that we're going to get into is a piriformis stretch. You're going to bend the knee and keep the feet flat. Then you're going to take the opposite leg and cross it over the other, resting the ankle on the bent knee. And you're going to slowly push the resting leg forward until you feel a good stretch in the glutes. You're going to rest and continue for at least 5 to 10 times on each leg. Now the motion doesn't look like much for this exercise, but I guarantee you the stretches of this exercise are immense. And the piriformis itself is a flat and narrow muscle. It runs from your lower spine through your butt to the top of your thighs. And it also aids in just about all the lower body movements that we do. Strengthening and stretching this muscle is very important for the lower body activity. And once you finish one leg, I'm going to shake it out and I'm going to switch to the next leg. And you may feel some imbalances on either side when you do this exercise. One side may be tighter than the other. It may be tough to push the leg forward on one leg than it is on the other leg. That's why it's important to keep track I'm gonna always reiterate that it's important to keep track of what your body can handle. If you can't do that many reps, do not stress your body to do that. Aim for progression. Please aim for progression. All right. You see in the routine that we're doing multiple reps. If you have to sit out while we're still doing the reps, that's okay. You kept track of how much you did for the day, and that's a win. Okay. Just keep on winning. Just keep on progressing. That's all I ask for. Once you stretch out your body, I'm gonna lay back down. You're gonna bring both knees to your chest. And you're gonna squeeze the knees to the chest. You're gonna release. Bring them back in for a nice good squeeze. And roll back up. That's a good way to decompress the back. Really beneficial exercise right there. Alright, I'm gonna get you guys standing up. We're gonna get on our knees. Bring one leg forward. I'm gonna go into a forward lunge. Just bringing the hips and the body forward. Okay, that simple movement right there is a simple forward lunge. Very key exercise for strengthening them hip muscles as well as the lower back and them glutes. You want to make sure that your back is nice and aligned, and you want to make sure that you have a nice firm base, meaning that your glutes and your core are activated. Okay, this next transition that I'm doing, you don't have to do this one if it's too challenging, but I'm bringing the heel of my lying leg up so that way I get a deeper stretch in the front of my hip as well as in the glute. I'm going to slowly relax. Slowly stretch your legs out before you get up. And wiggle them hips out. I'm going to transition into the next leg. Really, I just found some of the most practical exercises that I use and just made it all into one routine for you guys to follow. You can always come back to this video throughout the days, throughout the weeks, and keep track of how you did last time versus the time you're doing it in the future. You know, because you may see some deeper stretches when you come back to this video. You may be able to go into some deeper ranges of motion, you know, and it's always lovely to see. And can't wait to hear y'all stories, man. I really do hope these videos help y'all, you know. Alright, once you finish up your last rep, I'm gonna go into this deep stretch right here for the front hip and the glute. And this variation requires some balance, not gonna lie to you. I believe on this side my leg was shaking, so yeah, I'm a bit imbalanced, but I've always known that. Go ahead and relax from that deep stretch. Make sure that you wiggle them legs up before you get up slowly. And we're just making some practical movements for you guys to follow. That's the whole key. Practical, fundamental movements for you guys to follow. This next one we're gonna do, it's called a straight leg good morning. I learned this from Strength Side. You're gonna keep the legs straight and the knees locked. Then you're gonna bend your body forward while your back is still straight. Almost like you're doing a deadlift, but of course in deadlifts you have to bend your knees a little bit. If you feel any back rounding when you're coming down, that means that you come down too far. You know, you want to keep your back nice and aligned when coming down. On this last repetition, I'm going to hold at the bottom and relax. Very, very nice exercise for them hammies and hips. Now this next stretch that we're about to get into, it kind of looks like we're about to do the fusion dance from Dragon Ball Z, but we're not going to talk about that, okay? You're going to make sure that the back is straight, and you're going to bring your arms to 90 degree. Okay, and you're going to keep them at 90 degree with your shoulders rolled back. We're going to go deeper into the squat if you can, into the horse stance if you can. Make sure that your feet are a little bit wider than shoulder length apart. Okay, if you can go deeper, go deeper. But make sure that the shoulders are rolled back and that those arms stay at 90 degree. Keep your core and your glutes firm, activated, almost as if somebody gonna punch you in the stomach. You're gonna transition to the left side, keeping those arms 90 degree. Okay, and you're gonna bring that right arm up while staring at it. Bring it back down and transition back to the middle, keeping the body in the horse stance position, arms 90 degree. Transition to the right side, bring that arm up, bring it back down. Okay, and go back to the center. And I know your arms are probably gonna be on fire from doing this, but this is a very, very good exercise. You can bring your arms up over your head and back down to 90 degree, but just stay in this position for a little longer and relax. I know that exercise is a killer. Go and shake the body out. That exercise gets me every time, y'all. I'm not even gonna fake it. And it looks so simple. That's the thing. In this next exercise, it's almost like a standing cat pose stretch. You're gonna start by bending the knees. You're gonna keep the arms on the chair. And you're gonna try to lengthen the spine out. Now, this stretch targets the rhomboids especially. Very good for the rhomboids and the lats and the traps. I'm not gonna lie, it targets all of that. You know, it's just key for that middle back area. Very key. Now, it can stretch the lower back, but I found that this one stretches all of the upper portions of my back whenever I do this stretch. And you can hold this position from anywhere around 10 to 15 seconds. I recommend that for this one. You know, you can wiggle around the position, try to find better ranges of motion, and just, you know, play around with it, but be careful as always. This next exercise that we're about to go into is for anybody that has hip imbalances. So you're gonna keep one foot on the platform and one foot off the platform. The foot that's off the platform, you're gonna slowly raise it up using nothing but your hip muscles. Now you can hold at the top position for a little minute, as well as hold at the bottom position for a little minute, because each position gives you a deeper stretch within the hip muscle as well as in the lower back. This is a very practical movement. You can do this movement on the steps, you can do this movement at home, anywhere where you can elevate your feet to where the opposite leg is dangling off the platform will work out well. Now the thing is, I know a lot of people have tight hips, so you may feel quite the stretch when doing this exercise. You can go ahead and switch to the opposite leg. Now, all of these exercises that we're going over were specifically meant for foundational practice, okay? Something that you should be able to do easily, anywhere. And I just hope that that's the case, you know? I want to continue to find fundamental exercises that aren't so strenuous, and you're also able to feel some great benefits from the stretches. Even if they're tiny movements, you're still able to feel a great stretch that can benefit you in the long run. That's the aim when I'm looking for these exercises. Something that's practical and not so strenuous for beginners, so that way you don't lose faith or motivation when it comes to exercising. It should be fun being able to figure out that you have untapped potential that you can reach. Like, that should just be motivation in itself. But we all know that motivation dies quick. It's all about the discipline. So if you can get up and do these fundamental practices every day, it don't have to be every day, but at least 5 times a week, you'll be set up in the long run. Now, this last exercise that we're going into is called a wall chest opener. You're gonna make sure that the shoulder is rolled back. Okay. And you're gonna rotate your torso opposite of your arm and then rotate it back. But you always want to make sure for this exercise that your shoulder is rolled back at all times. Okay. It's going to ensure that you're getting the correct type of stretch and that you don't stretch your shoulder improperly. We're going to do anywhere from 5 to 10 reps, and of course on the last rep we're going to hold. This stretch is key for anybody looking to open up their posture more, open up their chest more, and get a good stretch in the shoulder blades as well as in the chest. Go ahead and shake that arm out. I'm going to transition to the last set. Last set of this exercise and you guys are done. You guys did a good job, man. I'm proud of y'all for being here. Anybody that stuck around to the end of the video and did this exercise with me, thank you. It's truly a blessing to be able to help y'all out with good information, man. For real. That's what this year should be about. Just helping each other become the best selves that we can possibly be. That way we all feel good. There's no facades in our personality. Everything is 100, 10 toes down. Go ahead and hold for that last rep. And relax. Good job, you guys. Yo, like I said earlier, it's a blessing to be able to help you guys out with this. Hope you found some value in this routine. And if you want to, you can run this back and do it again. You know, at the end of this exercise, I decided to do some dead hangs. That helps decompress the spine and realign the posture. So you guys can add that to the end of your exercise if you have a pull-up bar. If not, you can just end it at the other exercise. But with that being said, y'all, it's all love coming from these ways. I wish nothing but the best for everybody on their journeys. Peace, y'all.